kale no awo bwetyo bujja okuba nga tutambula. Ekiddako njagadde okubetondera nti presentations ezimu ezakoleddwa ezimu tezatambudde bulungi olw'okuba tekinologiya teyatutambulidde ku saidi yaffe. Kale gamba nga eya Namulondo Investment, kale nkusaba ogende online nga tumaliriza ojja kuba ogisangayo olunaku olw'enkeera, ojja kuba nga ogiraba, ate n'ezo ezakoleddwa nazo ojja kuba nga oziraba nga bwe zitambudde. Right, katutambule emisinde gyayiriiri. Ngenda kusaba Weni oyanirize Oweekitiibwa Kawuki asobole okuba nga akola enteekateeka ate okuba nti tulindirira okwogera kwa Kamalabyonna wa Buganda, kabaka waffe ow'ebweru, kyenkakasa nti yatuuse dda era alindiridde. Weni.
Nziza nnyo mwami Mugga, banange munzikirize nyanirize Oweekitiibwa Joseph Kawuki. Oweekitiibwa ono ya muntu atukwatako ffe ab'ebweru, ye minisita wa Ssaabasajja ku nsonga ez'ebweru, era ye muntu gwe nandigambye nti alina ebitiibwa, alina amaddaala gonna okutuyitira omugenyi waffe omukulu. Kozi okubajjukiza nga sinnamuyita nti enkya waliyo emisinde gya Ssaabasajja abasobola mu mayumba gammwe buli omu afune mujoozi gwe ayambale enkya kuddukira misinde gya Ssaabasajja. Ssebo Oweekitiibwa Kawuki, have you made it to the line?
Nga tulindirira Oweekitiibwa Kawuki, ngenda kusaba tufune video okuva
Oweekitiibwa Charles Peter Mayiga. Abantu ba Ssaabasajja Kabaka okuva mu Bulaaya basanyuse nnyo okuba naawe mu lukuŋŋaana luno lwe baakusuubira okwetabamu obutereevu, naye embeera ya COVID-19 netekusobozesa kubeera nga gy'oli. Njagala okwaniriza amyuka ba Katikkiro, ba sipiika ne baminisita ba Ssaabasajja Kabaka abatwegasseeko, era nyaniriza abaka ba Ssaabasajja Kabaka naddala ab'Ebungereza ne Scandinavia awamu n'amyuka baabwe, kyokka ne banywanyi baabwe okuva ku ssemazinga ez'enjawulo abasobodde okwetabamu. Era nyaniriza abantu ba Kabaka bonna abakulu n'abato abasobodde okuba mu lukuŋŋaana luno. Twandibadde tukozesa olulimi Oluganda naye olw'okusobozesa abaana abato tugenda kukyusa tudde mu lulimi Olunyaanyimbe. I take this opportunity to shift over to the English language in order to enable the young people who may not be competent with the Luganda language to catch up with what is transpiring. In a very special way, allow me to convey my sympathies and condolences to all those who lost their dear ones because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And we urge you to always continue safeguarding yourselves against this deadly disease, which is still on and real. Likewise, I take this opportunity to appreciate the organizers of this conference, the first of its kind. We have had such conferences in the US, in North America, but as for Europe, it's the first of its kind, and therefore it makes a very great history, and please maintain the spirit. As the Ministry of Buganda Affairs Abroad is responsible to bridge the relationship between the Kabaka's subjects living in the diaspora with the government of the Kingdom of Buganda led by His Majesty Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi II, the Katikkiro as the Executive Prime Minister, and with the full cabinet. It enables us to have one-stop center where somebody can easily get information and use it to do what is right and appropriate, fulfill his or her responsibility as a Kabaka's subjects. As we are well aware, the Kabaka of Buganda is also the Kabaka of Baganda, wherever they exist. We are therefore pleased to have been part of what has been shared today regarding plausible investments in Buganda and Uganda, agriculture, federalism, health, and many other issues, all of which are very pertinent in the development of Buganda Kingdom as well as Uganda at large. As a ministry, we urge you to continue having such conferences, to continue bridging the relationship between the Kingdom of Buganda and Kabaka's people in Europe. Back home, people always engage through different activities and arrangements. People always get opportunities to have vital information which is always passed on via such kind of arrangements. But because you are living far in the diaspora, it's very paramount that we usually engage, we exchange ideas such that we can move as one people, as a unit, towards the restoration of Buganda's glory. As a Ministry of Buganda's Affairs Abroad, we continue to urge you to participate in programs that support the Kingdom of Buganda, such as Olwalwafe, where Kabaka's subjects buy certificates to facilitate the Buganda Kingdom Treasury, because, as we are well aware, nothing can run without finances. Abraham Lincoln, the president, or the late president of America, once said that before you can think of what your nation has done for you, you have to ask yourself, what have I done for my nation? Many people always talk certain things and quite a number of issues about Buganda's potential, Buganda's abilities, their love for Buganda, but they have not moved any step in as far as facilitating its programs and prosperity is concerned. Therefore, this program offers us an opportunity as the people of Buganda to participate, just as people at home always do. Again, as we are well aware, we can achieve development, progress, and reclaiming our glory if people have enough wealth. A program was put in place where Kabaka subjects can come together and put up an investment. This program is coordinated by Kabaka's representatives in the diaspora. I call upon all people of Buganda, Kabaka's subjects living abroad, to save at least $1,000 in a year for a noble project that will be partnering between the Kingdom of Buganda and people living in the diaspora. This project can be done either at home or abroad, and we also need ideas about the same. That's why we urge Kabaka's subjects to put in place investment committees with an aim of ensuring that we meet this goal. We as well request that we continue networking and strengthening Kabaka's leadership in your areas. As I've already said, we have representatives, we have deputies. We are now moving on to having Bamagombola, Ttabamiruka, and Batongole in a similar system as it's done in Buganda. Although, in your case, the counties Masaza appear to be bigger than the case of Buganda, and even the numbers, as you know, are less. Yet, even efficiency can better be achieved given the fact that you are well versed with the use of technology. So, we call upon all of you to volunteer to come up and serve for the good cause which will bring Buganda into the required glory. It's very important to have information or data regarding Kabaka's subjects living in your areas of jurisdiction. We urge Kabaka's leaders to always devise mechanisms that can be used to register people in their areas. We are aware that some people may not want to register due to challenges like in migration, job-related issues, and it's very well understandable. But as leaders, we need to look for solutions to overcome bottlenecks, to overcome challenges, because these people love the Kabaka, they love their kingdom, they would wish to participate. So we can have a better mechanism which is acceptable and which is not endangering these people to ensure that both goals are fulfilled. And in all we yearn to achieve, unity is very paramount. Therefore, have confidence in the Kabaka's government headed by the Katikkiro. With the introduction of the social media, quite a lot of information is always traversed. At times, the sources are not known. At times, the sources are doubtable. It's unfortunate that some people take such information as the gospel truth. I want to assure you that the Kabaka's leadership cannot disappoint you. The Kabaka's leadership cannot disappoint the Kabaka. As you are well aware, the Katikkiro is appointed by the Kabaka at his discretion, and the Katikkiro can cease to be at Kabaka's discretion. So, have confidence in Kabaka's government. If you are looking for information, when you get anything that you don't understand, scrutinize it properly so as to avoid mixing information with the propaganda. Very many people these days take a propaganda as information, and in the end, they end up not achieving what is required for the promotion of the interests of Buganda Kingdom and our nation, Uganda. If we can know our membership as Kabaka's leaders, we become stronger wherever we are. And also it eases planning. Here, just I want to remind you of what we committed ourselves to some time back, that each of the constituent diaspora entity or Esaza should at least participate in community projects in Uganda by facilitating the media communities have safe water. And we thought that if each community can contribute $6,000 to dig one well, it would be very paramount. We have partners like Words of Life, but what is done needs a complement. What I mean is that, for example, UK as a Saza Ria Kabaka can commit itself. They can collect $6,000 to dig just a well. Likewise, Scandinavia can do the same. We have also called upon other entities to do likewise. I thank those which have already showed some progress in this line, and I call upon Kabaka's subjects through the Kabaka's representatives in your areas to ensure that you help in achievement of this goal. When we have such a conference in English, in many cases I feel bad, especially when we are addressing Kabaka's subjects. But the greatest worry we always have is failure to start. Starting this conference is a very great achievement. Therefore, through this conference, I wish to call upon all parents listening to me on this in this retreat to ensure that slowly by slowly we start training our children, the younger generation, to know their mother language, because our culture moves through language. Language is the best way of expression of culture. There are even words which can't be explicitly translated into English. Case in point, we are calling Katikkiro the Executive Prime Minister. To an extent, it's right, but it does not bring out the meaning exactly as it is, because an Executive Prime Minister has different roles from those of the Katikkiro. There are certain roles which he cannot perform, which are performed by the Katikkiro and which are embedded within his title. Therefore, our language is very important, it's very instrumental, and if parents can move a mile towards moving slowly by slowly, we may regain our culture and language even in the diaspora. As I conclude, I want to take this rare opportunity, the first place, to once again appreciate the Katikkiro for honoring this invitation, for being with us in this retreat, and request you, Katikkiro, to keep up the spirit. Let me take this opportunity to invite the Katikkiro Wekitiibwa Charles Peter Mayiga to come and address us, and also to close this convention, Ttabamiruka 2020. I wish you all the best. Ssaabasajja Kabaka awangaale ku lwa Katonda n'ensi yange. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala okumpuliriza.
Tweyanza nnyo, tweyanzirige. Saawa eno tugenda kweteekateeka okulaba nti Katikkiro ayogerako naffe. Ssaalongo ngenda kusaba otuwe akayimba akaaniza Katikkiro mu butongole, ate nja kukujjukiza gwe omulungi ali ku Zoom nti obubaka bwa Katikkiro bwe bwanga bumaze okuggwa, tujja kuddayo okuba nti tuyita abantu, buli omu alina issue abeere nga asobola okugireeta. Open answer question session. Awo nno Ssaalongo kuba akayimba kaaniza Katikkiro wa Buganda n'engalo ez'amaanyi, ate Katikkiro asobola okuba nga ayogerako eri abantu ba diaspora. Tuyanza.
We, the Uganda Matters Catholic Community UK, invite you to join us for our end-of-month celebration of Holy Mass. This takes place every last Sunday of the month. Due to COVID-19 circumstances at the moment, this is conducted via Zoom. This is preceded by the Young People's Liturgy at 2:20 to 2:50 p.m. UMCC Main Holy Mass at 3 p.m. Zoom meeting ID 8226 727 4651. Password 204569. For further details such as membership, our usual venue and activities, please contact the UMCC chairman or the publicity secretary on 07877 030 783. The UMCC community aims at promoting faith, family and friendship, fellowship through our celebrations. We also aim to enhance the home away from home experience through our social get-togethers. This helps us to strengthen our spiritual, emotional and social bonds. In faith, we grow.
If you type praisehealthcare.com into a search engine, you will find a recruitment agency specializing in supplying staff for healthcare and social care roles. Established to help with the NHS health and social care staff shortages while offering jobs catered to client lifestyles in the midst of the pandemic. So if you're unhappy with your job, want job security, want to work for the NHS or be your own boss, then join Praise today and get a job that leaves you with a smile. Even if you work here, you're a short form away from that perfect job. Or refer a friend and get paid £100 after your friend completes their first full week in the job.
Rapp & Sons initiated to bridge the gap between insurance providers and funeral directors serving African communities in diaspora. For your funeral cover, life insurance, serious illness cover and a lot more. For burials in UK and repatriations to any destinations, call Rapp & Sons Limited on +4479 887 873 89 and +2088 565 476. Protect your loved ones and restore your peace of mind. Trust Rapp & Sons. The North London Seventh-day Adventist Family and Friends Worship invites you to join us for a family and friends Sabbath worship every Saturday of the week. Bible study and prayers start at 9:30 a.m. UK time. Your main host is Omulangida Pastor Blesius Mutebi Kalemera, supported by various guest preachers. Come pray, praise and worship the Lord and make friends every Sabbath. Live on Zoom. Zoom ID 777 789 2020.
Oli Muganda awangalira mu Bungereza ne Ireland wenyumiriza mu kika kyo ebika yemu ku mpagi ezifuga Obuganda. Abataka abakulu ab'ebika balina ababaka baabwe wano mu Bungereza ne Ireland. Era wetuwogerera ebika ebisukka mu 2 birina ababaka b'abataka mu kitundu kino. Era be baategeka emikolo gya Ttabamiruka w'abataka mu Bungereza ne Ireland wa 2017 wamu ne 2018. Yabaffe emigaso egiri mu kuŋŋaanira wamu mu bika byaffe okimanyi, okuyiga ensibuko zaffe n'okuyiga okutambula ng'Omuganda oba Sseruganda oba munno mu kabi, okubuulirira, okuyigiriza n'okutuula mu nsonga, gamba obwa ssenga oba obwa kkojja, okutuuma amannya abaana baffe, obutawasaŋŋana, okusisinkana n'emigaso emirala mingi ntoko. Tojimalayo bw'oba tomanyi mubaka wa mukulu wa kika kyo oba ekika kyo tekinnaba kufuna mubaka, tuukirira omukubiriza olukiiko luno Ssaalongo Geoffrey Kibuuka ku 0796 739 670.
Hello, my name is Rachel Navude. I'm just here to bring you an update of what we've been up to in East London Bendo Bendo here in Buganda, UK. As you know, we invited you to come and take part in our Luganda classes run by Sitegedde Foundation Luganda Virtual Academy. The classes started this month in November 2020, and the classes are going very well. We've got 2 classes running at the moment, one for the children who can read and write. So that one is running on a Sunday evening from 6 to 8. And the youth and adult classes are running on a Thursday evening from 8 to 10 o'clock. The classes are really, really enjoyable. The young people are learning, and we are also learning from them, and we're picking up ideas. Everyone is learning from each other. So the syllabus that we are using with this learning is Sitegedde, our book Sitegedde. This is the hard copy and the hardcover copy, and then the soft cover copy. This one is for £15 and this is for £20. And our promise is that we will absorb the postage and parking fees. So all our learners, if you will not need to pay for the postage and parking fees. So if you'd like to come and join us, we still have a few places left on both classes. As you know, classes must be of a certain size and is filling up very quickly. But for those of you who still want to send their children, or for the young adult who would like to come and start learning Luganda, please do get in contact with us very quickly by writing to london@bugandauk.com. So let us learn together, let us develop this program together, and we are so excited with the way things are going. So hopefully we will see you in class.
Awuliriza tukwaniriza ku Connect Uganda Radio tukuweereza nga tusinzira mu kibuga London UK ku www.uganda.com. goberera program zaffe ez'enjawulo omuli kusaba kw'aba Advent ne Pastor Precious Kalemera. Buli lwa 6 ssaawa 4 paka ssaawa 7 ogw'emisana nyumirwa non-stop music mu Dembe Show. This is a DJ. Buli lwa 6 okuva ssaawa 11 paka 2 ez'ekawungeezi wano nga tukubira omuziki. Ogw'Abannayuganda gwokka. James Muga Show buli lwa 6 ssaawa 2 okutuusa ssaawa 4 ez'ekawungeezi UK time. Osobola okutwegattako ng'oyita ku mukutu gwa Skype James Muga 2 nga twogera ku nsonga z'ebyobufuzi n'ebyakagwawo mu ggwanga lyattu Uganda. Weebale kuwuliriza Connect Uganda Radio. Tusange ku www.connectuganda.com.
Buli omu akube engalo ez'amaanyi. Kabaka ow'ebweru agenda kwogera naffe. Katikkiro, over to you, Sebo.
Bannaye mwenna mbalamusizza nnyo era kya ssanyu okumanya nti nno mwakoze enteekateeka zino ne muwuliziganya era Oweekitiibwa Kawuki nga bw'ayogedde baŋŋambye nti njogere mu Lungereza nti kisobozese oba bavubuka era n'ebigambo bye baateeseteese ebyange biri mu Lungereza naye bwe nnaamala okubyogera mu Lungereza nja kubyogerako katono ndowooza ne mu Luganda kubanga era nga minisita bw'agambye olulimi lwaffe olutongole wano mu Bwakabaka bwa Buganda lwe Luganda We thank the organizers of this convention, Ttabamiruka 2020. I think it's the first of its kind. Like they say, every cloud has a silver lining. But for COVID-19, I doubt that we would be having the use of Zoom facilities for such a convention. I congratulate Oweek Ronald Rutaya, Oweek Nelson Mugenyi, and the organizing committee for these wonderful ideas. I think James Muga is one of the organizers. So I congratulate you and I thank you very much. Tomorrow, His Majesty the Kabaka will be flagging off participants in the Kabaka's birthday run. Let all of us gear up for the fight against HIV/AIDS. For the theme for the run for this year and the next 2 years is the fight against that scourge. As you've heard from my colleagues, the Kabaka was named Goodwill Ambassador by UNAIDS for Eastern and Southern Africa in the fight against this disease. He was named in 2017, and that role will continue until 2023. The aim is to banish HIV/AIDS out of Uganda by 2030. At the same time, we are aware that COVID-19 is still rampant. We stand with those who have gone through difficult times, especially those who have lost their loved ones. We commend those of you who have offered support to those who have been affected by COVID-19. I'm aware that some of you have offered financial support to those who contracted the virus or those who have been out of jobs. And you have reached out to families of those who lost their loved ones. In times like this, we need to stand together. I thank all those who have made presentations today in this convention, and I'm sure they've added to your understanding of what is going on here at home. I thank my colleagues in the Kabaka's cabinet, Oweek Robert Wagwansibirwa, Oweek David F. Kempanga, Oweek Prosperous Nankindu Kavuma, Oweek Miss Kakomo, and Oweek Joseph Kawuki, the line minister in charge of the diaspora affairs. And I thank all the others who have made contributions to different themes. I wasn't able to join you from the time you started, and I missed out some of the presentations because of other responsibilities. But I was lucky to have joined when Jan Muchibi and Zinunula Serumaga were making their presentations. And I'm very pleased that these young people are part of this arrangement. Whatever we learn in such fora ought to be transferred from the conference papers to action. A good idea that doesn't get implemented is like mineral wealth that never gets extracted from the ground. Or worse, it's like a talent that is never utilized. Development of the kingdom and the country will not come about like a miracle or some force of nature. It has to come about because we understand our situation and because we apply the appropriate solutions to the challenges that we face. Participation in this convention is indicative of the desire of the Baganda and the diaspora to learn about the developments back home in the kingdom. As you know, our vision is to restore Buganda to her rightful place at the summit of the social and economic well-being of the people who fully enjoy their freedoms be they inherent, cultural, or political. This, my friends, isn't sloganeering. It's a process. It's a process that needs to be embraced by all, including those in the diaspora. Fortunately, the vast majority of the people of Buganda, wherever they are, have shown eagerness to be part of this transformation process ever since Kabaka Mutebi's coronation in 1993. The last time I communicated with you in the diaspora, in July 2020, I highlighted some of the modest but hopefully significant achievements that have been registered, not only during the time of the administration that I had, but for the entire 27 years of Kabaka Mutebi's incumbency on the throne to date. And my colleagues have mentioned a number of them during the earlier parts of the convention. Recently, and besides the other achievements I mentioned 4 months ago, and which I think has been mentioned by the Minister in charge of Health, Dr. Prosperous Nankindu, the Kingdom was recognized for our contribution to the health sector in the country with the Heroes in Health Award from the Central Government Ministry of Health. When you couple that with the Kabaka's ambassadorial role in the fight against HIV/AIDS, which was bestowed upon him by a UN agency, then you start to appreciate the Kingdom's contribution to the well-being of the people of Buganda and Ugandans in general. When we turn our eyes to the political side of things, you notice that the Kingdom headquarters is the must-visit place for all political actors. I have said many times that political tides or even fortunes change. But what we aspire for as a people, as a kingdom, does not change. That's the reason we constantly remind the country that what Buganda stands for is summarized in the 5 aspirational objectives and Ensonga Semasonga Town: the sanctity of our heritage and the sanctity of the incumbent on the throne, sharing power and the federal system of government, protection of our lands and proprietary rights and the geographical borders of the kingdom, provision of social and economic services by virtue of hard work, and the unity of the people of Buganda. That is the summary of the 5 aspirational objectives of the kingdom. That's what we stand for. That doesn't change. Whoever respects what we stand for is welcome to Bulangi. And during these times, when different individuals and organizations are seeking political fortunes, we continue to receive the different participants in the political arena. On our part, we advise voters to look out for candidates who pronounce themselves on Buganda's 5 aspirational objectives. We also advise the voters to look out for candidates who have Uganda at heart, people who will genuinely work for the unity of Ugandans, candidates who will initiate genuine programs for the economic and social well-being of the citizens. Those seeking political offices continue to come to Bulangi because Buganda is a factor and will continue to be a factor in the political developments and processes of Uganda. Let me now turn to what the diaspora needs to do to fully become participants in Buganda's transformation journey. First, I implore you to strengthen your networks and build cohesion as a people from Buganda in Europe. When you plan together, when you work together, when you execute different initiatives together, then it becomes very easy to foster development, first among yourselves, and ultimately for the kingdom and Uganda generally as our country. It is not enough to attend such conventions however great the topics for discussion. It is not enough to anticipate good speakers. Our focus must be on those plans, even if they are apparently humble. The plans that can create some impact back home. Some of you remember we introduced the idea of which diaspora SAZA contributing one borehole, which Kawuki has talked about it, estimated at approximately $6,000 US. Now we can talk about poverty as much as we want, but it cannot be overcome unless practical steps are taken to address it. When a village gets a source of safe and sufficient quantities of water, just as an example, productivity goes up and eventually poverty will be overcome. That's a practical step, something that needs to be done by all of us. In 2014, September 2014, I was in Boston, USA, at St. Mary's Catholic Church, Waltham, and I addressed a big crowd that turned up. That was during the Tofari Drive. And I told them that everyone who desires a prosperous Buganda must be part of the transformation process. We can be critical, everyone can be critical. Being critical may point out our weak side, but it alone won't bring about the desired changes. It's practical steps that can effect the changes. So my friend, ask yourself, what has been your role as Buganda is being rebuilt? What's your contribution to the shape of the Buganda you cherish during Kabaka Mutebi's reign? Those are the questions you must ask yourself. And oftentimes we witness differences, constant squabbles, anger and bitterness. The internet is the best place to be if you want to discover, or even if you want to be part of what is called negative energy these days. The internet is the best place. Being negative simply slows progress. We should always remember that it is normal to have differences. Differences do exist in all communities, among the English, among the Indians, among the Jews. Every community in Europe has its own differences. Everywhere, among the Arabs, there are differences among all people. Whatever point of departure, we must never lose focus of the big picture. The big picture is the journey that takes Buganda to our rightful place. It's possible that the route others have taken won't be your first option, or it's up to you to decide, but the desired destination is the same. So don't lose yourself in destructive anguish, because the big picture may get out of view. When we stay together, when we listen and tolerate each other, we are not abandoning principle, we are being civilized. And Buganda, the Buganda have been known for being civilized for nearly 1,000 years. That's why, like my colleagues before me, Kawuki was significantly emphatic. We constantly caution you about postings on the internet and social media post platforms. Strangely, a post with negative connotations trends, even without users asking themselves whether the negative post is actually true. A post with material that enriches us or provides accurate information tends to be given little attention. The internet is the true new normal, but how we benefit from it is a personal choice. The internet is the true new normal, but how we benefit from it is a personal choice. I want to repeat that because it's extremely important, especially given the fact that young people are listening to me. It is fatal for the people in the diaspora or the general public back home to depend on bloggers for information regarding the kingdom. It's absolutely fatal. Nothing significant can happen to the Kabaka, to the Katikkiro, to members of the royal family, to the Kabaka's government or clan leaders that can be hashed up or totally hidden or distorted. It can't happen. It can't happen. Nothing significant can happen and people don't get to know. All you have to do is to wait for official communication. In my opinion, we should use social media to propagate messages that unite us, messages that add value to personal developments and general developments in Buganda and the country as a whole. As I wind up, I wish to reiterate what I talked about in July. I encourage you to embrace the investment opportunities which the kingdom continues to create. You can save money with kingdom circles, such as Subido's and Bogo Circle. I talked about these things in July, and my colleagues have talked about them. Take advantage of opportunities presented by Ochitiwa Robert Wagwan Sibirwa. Think about the $1,000 initiative that we talked about some time back. Take time and examine the eventual benefits of these investments. I call upon young people to seek knowledge. Knowledge is wealth. And to adequately prepare for the future, you must have the requisite knowledge. If you are not knowledgeable, you are doomed. If you have the wrong information, you are buried. It is unfortunate that even during this ICT era, many young people continue to base their decisions on wrong information because any information can be verified. The future cannot belong to the young people unless they take it as their duty to look for and get the right information on any subject of their interest. Because it is said every time we say everywhere that the future belongs to the young people, that the future is for the young people. And they say the future starts today, but it can't start unless you've got the right information. And how you get the information is a personal choice. If you are fully equipped with the right information, it will become easy for you to be part of the youth programs that we come up with now and again. I believe that more Zoom meetings organized by our ministry in charge of youth affairs will be quite helpful, or the ministry in charge of diaspora affairs. I know that many young people listening to me now were born and were bred in Europe. Some of them are, are here that made contributions. That shouldn't deter you from networking with the youth back home, provided you have the right information. Do not shy away from assuming leadership positions in the countries where you are. Let no one deceive you that you cannot be head of the company where you work because of the color of your skin or because your parents aren't natives of your country. Nobody should deceive you. The essence of leadership is to find solutions to challenges. And you need to be part of the required solutions by being in positions of responsibility. Vie for positions in your corporate organizations when the chance comes up, in your NGOs, in places of worship, in local councils or the national legislature, or top leadership. Don't shy away because it's possible for you to get into those positions if you believe you can get there. And I think you can get there. Getting involved in leadership will build your skills and accord you valuable experiences that shall be ultimately very useful to the Kingdom of Buganda and to Uganda and probably Africa as a whole. Sanyuse nnyo bannaye okubalaba mwenna era mbeebaza okwenyigira mu lukuŋŋaana luno. Bwe mwenyigira mu nkuŋŋaana ez'engeri ng'eno, kiraga nti mweteeseteese wadde muli bunaayira bangi muli mitala w'amayanja okumanya ebigenda mweteeseteese okumanya ebigenda mu maaso eno eka, okubigoberera ate nammwe okusaayoko ettoffaali. Okwolesebwa kwe tulina kwe kuzza Buganda ku ntikko. ng'abantu bali mu mbeera eyeyagaza, balina kye balya, balina kye we basula, abaana basobola okusoma, basobola okujjanjabibwa, balina ke bayingiza mu nsawo, ng'eddembe lyabwe balyeyagaliramu nga teririnnyirirwa. Okuzza Buganda ku ntikko si ŋŋombo, lugendo lwe tulina okwenyigiramu ffenna wamu okusinziira buli omu waali. Kyenvudde mbaaniriza ennyo nammwe abali emitala w'amayanja, bwe mwetaba mu lukuŋŋaana nga luno, kiraga obwagazi bwe mulina okuzza Buganda ku ntikko. Eky'omukisa, abantu bonna tubalaba nga bayaayaana okwenyigira mu nteekateeka ezizza Buganda ku ntikko. Awo nno bannaffe mwenna gye muli, mwongere okunyweza enkolagana, mukolaganire wamu ng'abantu ba Buganda abali mu Bulaaya. Bwe mukola enteekateeka ez'awamu, bwe mukolera awamu, bye musazeewo bwe mubisiza awamu, bwe mubisa mu nkola nga muli wamu, kijja kuba kyangu nnyo okuleeta enkulaakulana. Enkulaakulana ey'obwa ssekinnoomu n'enkulaakulana ey'Obwakabaka oba wadde ne Uganda. Sibadde nammwe okuva mu ntandikwa olw'obuvunaanyizibwa obunene bwe nsangiddwa nabwo, naye nsanzeeko wano abavubuka aboogera ku bye bayiiyizza mu by'obulamu, ndabye akola engoye, ebintu ebyo byonna ebikolebwa byetaaga akatale, naye akatale tukamanya nga tukolera wamu. N'ebiri eka bwe tuba tubikwatidde wamu, tusobola okuzza Buganda ku ntikko. Bwe nali njogera mu America e Boston mu mwezi ogw'omwenda 2014 nga tuli mu kaweefube w'ettoffaali, nagamba kibiina ky'abantu ekinene ekyajja nti ffenna abaagala Buganda okudda ku ntikko tuteekwa okwenyigira mu lutabaalo olwo. Osobola okutuula w'oli n'onenya oba n'olaga obunafu bw'omulala, naye ekyo tekijja kuleeta nkyukakyuka z'oyagala. N'olwekyo weebuuze gwe ky'okoledde Buganda, weebuuze Buganda nga bw'oyagala efaanane, ettoffaali lyo lifaananye litya? Awo nno tubasaba nti tuleme kweyawulayawulamu. Abantu bayinza obutakkaanya ku buli kintu, era enjawukana zibeerawo mu bitundu byonna abantu gye babeera. Naye bwe tuba nga ffenna olugendo lwe tuliko lwe lumu, gye twagala okugenda yeewamu, weemanyiize okuwuliziganya, n'oyo gw'otokkaanya naye weemanyiize okuwulira naye kyagamba. Oba tofuuse nnakigwanyizi, nedda, bw'owulira omulala kyagamba nga tokyagala, oba tofuuse nnakigwanyizi, obeera muntu mugunjufu. Tuyimba nti ekitiibwa kya Buganda kyava dda, era omuntu alina ekitiibwa ekivudde dda awuliriza n'abalala bye boogera. Awo nno tubakubiriza okwegendereza bye mugenderako, ne bannange bakyogedde abalala. Oli bw'ateeka ebintu ku mutimbagano ebisasamaza, abantu bangi bibatwaliriza nga tebeebuuza naye kino kituufu? Ate ebintu eby'omugaso ebiteekebwayo oluusi tetubifaako. Kyabulabe mwabali emitala w'amayanja naye n'abali eka, okwesigama ku bano abatava ku mitimbagano nti be banaababuulira ebigenda eka. Kyabulabe kubanga teri kintu kya simba, teri kintu kya nsonga kiyinza kutuuka ku Ssaabasajja Kabaka oba ku Katikkiro oba ku gavumenti ya Kabaka oba ku booli olulangira oba ku bataka. Tewali kiyinza kutuukawo eky'ensonga ne wabaawo akizibiikiriza. Tekisoboka. N'olwekyo ky'olina okukola kwe kulinda emikutu emitongole, osobole okugoberera ebigenda mu maaso eka, osobole n'okubiwaako amagezi. Nga mmaliriza, njagala okuddamu okwogera bye nabagamba mu Julaayi era bwe twali mu lukuŋŋaana luno olw'okumutimbagano. ate naddala kati nga bwe tulina abavubuka be baŋŋambye abangi mwettanire enteekateeka ezikoleddwa obwakabaka ez'obusizi bw'ensimbi tugambe nga sako zino waliwo Subiriro za Mbogo sako waliwo n'endala waliwo emikisa mingi nnyo omuntu mwasobola okusiga era ndowooza Oweekitiibwa Nsibirwa yabibabuulidde bwe nali mu America ndowooza twali Atlanta Georgia mu 2017 ne mbagamba nti kisoboka okubulwa Abaganda abali mu America abantu 1,000 bwe ruti buli omu n'awa $100 ne bakuŋŋaanya akakadde ka dola sente za America ne babaako eky'omuggundu kye bakola oba mu America obeeka kisoboka abantu 1,000 gamba ezo dola nga 2 buli mwezi gye bayita $1 million initiative $1,000 initiative nga buli muntu awa $10,000 omwaka kisoboka ddala nti kisoboka $10,000 omwaka lwaki ebyo tusobola kubikola fenga abantu ba kabaka mu Boston Ethiopia balinamu ekizimbe oba ebizimbe bo basobola batya batusinga nnyo mu London mulimu Abaganda ndoze emitwalo 2 lwaki timulimu ekizimbe kye bayita Buganda House nga Abaganda abali London be bakizimbi tetusobola kufuna ddala Baganda 1,000 abasobola okuwaayo paundi 7 omwaka ne bafuna paundi akakadde kamu n'omwaka ogujja akakadde kamu essente zo nnyingi nnyo era zisobola okubaako obusizi bw'ensimbi bwe zikola lwaki tetubikola nga ffe abantu ba kabaka nga kabaka yatuwa n'omubaka Sweden eyo waliyo Abaganda bayitirivu ate abasinga batyagiri oba bakolera ddala emirimu egy'amaanyi kiki ekyawamu nga mu abantu ba Buganda kye muliraga abaana bammwe nti mwamala emyaka 3 myaka 4 mu Bulaaya awo nno bassebo ne bannyabo ekintu ekyo mukiteekeko nnyo omwoyo kisoboka muleme kutya abavubuka mbawa amagezi munoonye okumanya obugagga buli mu kumanya obugagga tebuli mu mafuta obugagga tebuli mu zaabu obugagga buli mu kumanya kubanga amanyi yanoonya ekyagala okumukulaakulanya gye kiri era bagamba nti ebiseera eby'omu maaso by'abavubuka naye tebisobola kuba by'abavubuka nga tebalina kumanya omuntu atamanyi abanga ataliiwo ate omuntu ali ku bikyamu abanga afudde aziikiddwa era mu biseera bino eby'omutimbagano ne tekinologiya kyabulabe eba kyannaku nti abavubuka bangi bye basalawo okukola babyesigamya ku bintu ebikyamu bye baba bawulidde so nga okufuna ekituufu kyangu nnyo abavubuka abazaaliddwa mu Bulaaya muyaayaana okutwala ebifo by'obukulembeze mu nsi eyo gye muli tebabalimba ntosobola kubeera mukulembeze olw'okuba oli muddugavu oba nti bazadde bo tebazaalibwa mu nsi eyo gy'olimu kaakati obukulembeze ekikulu ekibuliko kutema mpenda za kuvuunuka bizibu ate okuvuunuka ebizibu gwe ayina ekizibu ekyo naawe oteeka okukyenyigiramu kyemba mbakubiriza mulwane masajja oba n'amakazi okufuna ebifo by'obukulembeze mu makampuni ag'amaanyi gye mukola n'omu Julayi nakyogerako mu bibiina ebyo bwannakyewa gye mukola mu gavumenti gye mukola mu bifo mu masinzizo mu nkiiko mubeere babaka ba Parliament muyinza n'okukulembereza ensi eyo gye muli Barack Obama temumulaba temulaba meeya wa London abo bonna ezo si z'ensi zaabwe enzaalirano naye mubalaba gye baatuuka mu byenyigiremu temubigayaalirira. I thank you again for organizing this convention, Ttabamiruka 2020 Europe, and I urge all of you to always keep keen interest in the affairs of the kingdom. Always send your views through the Ababaka Basabasajja Kabaka, liaise with your line ministry, and always keep the big picture in sight. I now declare Ttabamiruka Europe 2020 closed. Katonda abawenye omukisa. Ssaabasajja Kabaka awangaale nga n'enkumbi ku bbega.
Yanze again. Ekitiibwa kya Buganda Kalanzi. Balire abalungi mwenna ababaddewo nga tetunnaba kugenda kufuna ssaala esembayo, njagadde okuyitaayita mangu lukwakwayo mu ttiimu ekwataganyiza ekintu kino okulaba nti kitambula bulungi okutuuka wano we tuli.